Hi everybody, welcome back to another edition of Sunday Open Studio Online. I'm just popping a couple of things into the journal that I made last week because we've got this Hearts of PG activity going on all around Prince George and around the world, and Maker Lab showed us on Facebook how to make these origami hearts. So I thought I'd use my journal to put the hearts and other artwork in that we're making while we're all stuck at home. Today, I wanted to make some paint with you, and we're going to make two different kinds of paint. One is going to be made with eggs, and one is going to be made with powdered milk. Both of them need food coloring and a bit of water, bowls, spoons, fork, and some rinse water for your brushes. So grab your stuff and meet me back here. Okay, welcome back. I did a couple of test runs on the paint earlier today, and I'm just going to show you what we made, or what I made. I made egg tempera, which is this paint on the bottom and has kind of a shiny consistency to it once it's dry. And on the top here, that's our powdered milk paint. So the first thing I wanted to do was make the egg tempera paint. I'll just set this off to the side so it doesn't get all mucky. And you can see here, I made a yellow and a blue earlier today, and they've separated just a little bit. So I'll give them a little stir. And egg tempera is a paint that was used by Renaissance painters and is still used by some painters today, and it is made out of egg yolks. Renaissance painter? Oh, those are the painters that were back in the 15th and 16th centuries. People like Leonardo da Vinci and Michelangelo. And they didn't have access to store-bought paints, which a lot of us don't have access to right now because we're stuck at home. So they would use egg yolks to make their paints, and I'm just checking to make sure that I have everything here. And it's very simple. What you need to do is separate the egg yolk from the egg white, and everybody has their own way of doing this. This is how I like to do it, very carefully with clean hands, because I can use my egg whites later in my cooking to make some meringue cookies or something like that. Oh, I didn't leave a garbage close to my station here. So I'll just have to wing it. I'll set it on the table over here for now. Okay. And then I want to make sure that all that egg white is taken off. Oh, my yolk broke already, so I'll have to be quick about it. And I'm going to pour the egg yolk into my bowl. Hopefully you can see that. And the egg yolk, you'll find, has a little membrane around it. I try and leave that on the paper towel. Get as much of that yolk as I can into my bowl. Okay, and again, set this off to the side because my garbage can is halfway across the room. And that's the way it goes sometimes. Make sure your garbage is close at hand while you do this. I did give myself a washcloth though, so I can wash my hands frequently. Move the egg whites off to the side. Wipe away this bit of egg yolk. There we go. You can take a run to the sink and wash your hands well with soap and water if you want to. Have our egg yolk ready to go. Now I thinned out my egg yolks in these paints with a little bit of water. I want to try this one without thinning it out. Just use the egg yolk. And let's see, I made blue and yellow. This time I'll make some red. Grab some of my red food coloring and put in, that's 4, 5, 6 drops of red food coloring, and give it a stir. That's how easy it is to make some egg tempera, for our purposes anyways. I think they probably added a few more things back in the olden days, but not much, and they didn't have any food coloring then. What do you think they used to make the colors of their paints? Yep, they ground up rocks and minerals and sand and dirt and all sorts of interesting things to make their paints. Now let's see how that works in my sketchbook here, the thick paint as opposed to the thin paint. I'm going to turn my sketchbook around like this just so you can see it a little bit better. Makes a very delicate color, doesn't it? But it works very much like any other paint. So you can experiment with this. See what happens, for example, if you put in a little bit more food coloring. How does that change how the paint looks? A little bit darker, still very, very transparent though, isn't it? I bet you could do some drawing on your paper and paint over top of your drawings and your drawing lines would still show through. That would be a very nice effect, wouldn't it? If you've got more people in your house and you need to share the paints, you could always use some egg cartons to give everybody a little bit of paint, or some ice cube trays. You could also use your ice cube tray to mix some colors. After you finish painting with your egg tempera, you will want to wash your hands really well. I wouldn't suggest keeping the paints overnight. If you want to use them again tomorrow, mix up a new batch. Wash your brush with some soap and water so that you can use it again. And there you have it, there's egg tempera. So another way, quick and easy way to make some paint to use would be to use powdered milk. Here are some colors that I made already. A very pinkish looking red, a yellow. You can see the colors are a little bit more pastel when we make them with the powdered milk, but that's okay. Almost Easter egg colors, aren't they? Those pastel colors there. So the recipe that I found said you want to use 2 parts of powdered milk to 1 part of water. Okay, so what that means is if I use 2 tablespoons of powdered milk, you can see my table's going to get a bit messy here. Make sure that you're in a space where you can create a bit of mess while you do this. So 2 tablespoons of powdered milk. Let's get some clean water without eggs in it. 1 tablespoon of water. And give a stir. And you want to stir for a little while until all those powdered milk granules have dissolved. And I have here 2 of our 3 primary colors, yellow and red. So I'm going to try and mix a blue this time. But now this paint you can keep in a covered container for 4 days in the fridge. So if you want to paint where you can use it over and over again over a few days, this is your paint to choose. Make sure the brush is clean. And let's try out that blue that I made. Now, when my brush comes out of the water, sometimes it's very wet and drippy, so I like to take a paper towel or a Kleenex or cloth and wipe off the excess water. And then I can paint with this. What could I paint with a blue? mix purple with orange. Can I make brown? And the answer is, I think so. There's my brown. So there we go, everybody. 2 simple ways to make paint and have some happy painting sessions. Join me again next week with some shaving cream, some food coloring, toothpicks, and a cookie sheet or a styrofoam tray, as well as some paper and maybe a hard-boiled egg or 2. Thanks everybody for joining me. We'll see you again next week. Bye-bye.